the 50th episode of the BTF podcast. That's the Back to Football podcast, the number one podcast for people who probably should talk about something other than football. It is the 11th of July, 2020, and I'm joined by Greg, I'm joined by John, and I'm joined by another John Aldino, all the way from South Carolina. How are you, John Aldino? First, I'm going to go to you because you're our guest today. I'm loving the shirt. Tell us a little bit. Tell us a little bit about how you are.
Really good, thank you. I'm tired, but I'm glad I'm here for the big 5-0.
The birthday show.
How are you, Johnny? Jonathan?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm in unfamiliar surroundings today. Unfamiliar surroundings. But yeah, no, I'm doing all good. No comments on the curtain or the decor, please. Greg, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking, lads. I'm doing all right. Yeah, all good this way. 50 shows. Pretty incredible. I'm proud of us. I'm proud of you boys, really. You've been here from like the inception of it, Dan and John. Pretty incredible. How do you guys feel?
Should I? Well, I just jump in. No, it's good. It's good. It's an achievement. It's something you can say. Yeah, well, I've done 50 shows. I think I've only missed maybe 1, 2 at a push. What about you, Dan?
Yeah, I think your connection went a bit shaky there for a second. I mean, 50 is a big number. It's probably just taken us sort of just over a year to get there. Crazy year, really, if you look at some of the different times in that year. And when we first started it up, it was just me and you kind of doing it in person. Then obviously we expanded it to filming it in person with sort of a bigger team. And then obviously everything that's happened this year, sort of post March, we've had to change it up and kind of adapt. So for me, I'd say like it's been like a year of like learning like what elements go into doing these kind of things. And it's actually, it was learning how to film something and put it on. John signed out on this one. Film something, put it on YouTube. Oh, we've lost him. His emotional times. Sometimes
that's a Zoom mic
the room.
That is. That's a Zoom equivalent to dropping the mic.
But yeah, adapting to this kind of side of things as well and doing things remotely. And it's pretty incredible that we can all be in the same space. I'm in London, Greg's in Essex, John's not here, John's in his sister's bedroom, and you're in South Carolina there, John Aldino. So it's pretty remarkable, really, what we're able to do now. I'm looking forward to kind of like the next 50 shows, which will be kind of coming after a short break, maybe after this show. And we're going to sort of look at how we can come back bigger and better and sort of start to build more towards the kind of content we were making before lockdown. So it's exciting. It's a good time. And it's been a ride. So we've not been short of controversy along the way. John Aldino, what did you think of our chocolate bar ranking last week?
It's so bad. I blame Jonathan because he put Bounty in the top tier. Who is Bounty?
Bounty was very controversial.
I don't think I've ever touched a Bounty in a celebrations box.
Well, listen, we were everything was going into the middle or not quite there. So I had to put my neck out for one of them. But yeah, happy to take any shots being fired my way. But yeah, Bounty's a classic. If Milky Way's in there, Bounty's got to be in there.
Milky Way shouldn't have been there either, but that's on you boys, not me.
I agree.
What would have been your top 3 then, John?
Kinder Bueno, Kit Kat, and Toblerone.
Well, Toblerone in the top tier.
Fortunately.
Yeah.
That's why
doubles up as a weapon, like you said. Put it in the fridge and knock someone out.
Is there any particular what are your go-to snacks in the US? Are there any chocolate bars like US chocolate bars or anything that would get in there? up there.
You know what? There's one that I forgot about. Maltesers.
See, yeah, where do they fit? Minstrels, Maltesers. These are all chocolate, but they're not chocolate bars. I guess.
Yeah, it's an odd one.
You can get that Malteser bar.
Really?
Which is banging.
Yeah, it's banging.
Oh, man. I might need to find that on Amazon or something and get it shipped over.
And I'd also argue, obviously, we put Dairy Milk up there. Galaxy, just a plain Galaxy bar. For me, that would have outranked Dairy Milk. Just saying.
Was Galaxy bar in the list?
There was a Ripple in there, but there was no plain Galaxy.
Yeah.
So these things happen. Have you boys been watching all the football this week?
No.
What sort of time? Yeah. Did you watch? Well, Spurs played, didn't they? Spurs almost lost. Is that right?
To Sheffield United, right?
Yeah.
I just don't even know if we are playing football at this point. I mean, Bournemouth, they're 18th in the league.
Yeah, it was Bournemouth.
They've managed to scrape 2 draws or something like that. They've lost to the majority of teams, and yet we can't get a result against them. We can't even play proper football against them. And to top it all with the trailer for the Amazon documentary, All or Nothing, or it should be called All for Nothing. That's coming out soon. I mean, it'll be a good documentary I'm glad that this season of football has been documented in some way, because I'd like to see the insides of how they've dealt with this situation that we're in. But it's just a shame that we're going to look like a bunch of idiots that don't know how to play football. I think there's going to be a big exodus in this summer for Tottenham. And you know what? I welcome it. I think that we've got a lot of players out there that don't care. And I've said this on the podcast before. It doesn't matter how many goals you can score, how many assists you can get, how many goals you can save. If you don't care about being at the club, you can go. It's fine by me.
Ndombele's awful, isn't he?
He's unfit. He's he's a talented player on the ball, but he's just not fit. And I can't work out if it's the lack of passion or lack of management, or if he's just like that. But yeah, I mean, in a couple of years' time, he might come into his own, but he just needs to get fit and he needs to start playing.
Yeah, he's a good player. He was a good player at Lyon. But I don't know, man. He came over to you guys and was just, like you said, unfit. And hopefully he trims down. I mean, didn't he break lockdown to train with Mourinho? That says something.
He did, yeah, he did. He was one of the players.
Mourinho sees him as a little pet project, and I think that Mourinho sort of sees him as his saving grace. And unfortunately, in doing that, he's stopping him from playing, because he knows that as soon as he gets on a pitch, he's going to get found out. He's going to be part of the fraud gang. And but I think the point is, you need to play him so that you can say to him, look, people aren't happy with how you're playing. This is what you play like. We need to sort this out over the summer. But if you don't play him, you can't expose him to that. I don't know. You can only keep him in bubble wrap for so long.
Also, Kane's surely on his way out.
Do you know what, though? If we sell Kane, we'll get 150 million for him minimum, I reckon, in this market. Goal scorer of that talent. Anyone going to challenge me on that? Anyone challenging me on that? I see Dan's face. But
more towards the
80
mark.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay 150 for Kane. I think he's a great goal scorer, but he's not dynamic enough to cost that much money. You wouldn't say, Harry Kane, he can like rip teams apart with his pace, or he can drop down into the midfield and grab a game by the scruff of the neck. I don't know. I personally think 150 is steep for Harry Kane.
Whatever we get for him, I think we'll be able to get a few more 2 or 3 players to fit in and make a better team. Because as you say, Kane, I like him. He can score goals, but there's nothing much to his game. I thought by now his game would have adapted into, as you say, being able to drop in and with a little bit of pace. But I know. I mean, it would be a shame to see him go. But I think something needs to change at Tottenham, and it clearly isn't happening at the moment. So whatever it needs to change.
Yeah.
I suppose.
I mean, I think this morning I did see a quote from Mourinho saying that he expects Tottenham to to spend this summer, or he expects a lot of players to come in. I know Eric Dyer's in a bit of a contract standoff at the moment as well.
Yeah.
I say only, he's on 60,000 a week, and I think his demands are 120. Is he worth that? Obviously, he picked up a ban this week for his in the crowd antics. His do you know the John Aldino? You're a basketball fan. The Pistons Pacers brawl. Are you familiar with that? When Ron Artest jumped in the crowd. If not, give that a Google. It's one of the iconic sports fights.
I remember it now.
They basically, like, the whole team just like went into the crowd and just had a massive fight. But yeah, obviously Eric Dyer did that nonsense earlier in the season. He's picked up a 4-game ban. Is that right?
Yeah.
Which that's probably just, isn't it? I would think. If anything, light, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, is he worth 120 a week then, Greg?
No, I don't think so at all. I don't really understand where he fit. I mean, he's another one that Jose Mourinho has sort of taken a liking to. But with me, Eric Dyer, you can take him or leave him. And I think that is a similar case of a lot of Tottenham players. Dele Alli, there's a lot of talks about him, where he's going to end up and things like that. He hasn't been the same player for 12, 18 months now. Something's gone. That fire in the belly's gone. And you just hope that Mourinho's got enough about him still, and he's got that flame to be like, all right, for the right price, you can go. The thing with Tottenham spending this summer, I heard a couple of months ago that Mourinho's not going to get a massive budget, but anything that he gets for players for selling them off, he gets to keep as a budget. So spend
as his
not for his pocket.
right. Yeah. So
severance pay when he eventually says that he quits.
Yeah. So sell Dele Alli for 50 million or whatever. He'll get that 50 million to invest into a new player. I don't know. Okay. I hope something happens.
Yeah. I just don't know whether, Mourinho doesn't have a great track record of being kind of thrifty in a transfer scene. And I do feel like, once you start selling players for massive sums of money, it's very hard to then get a bargain because everyone knows you've got money. And you see that with, when Juve sold Pogba and Barcelona, all the players. I mean, there was that deal, the Pjanic one way, Arthur the other way deal. They were both valued at basically the same price. It was a swap deal that essentially is a financial fair play loophole. John Aldino, you got thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's crazy. So what I read was whatever money you make before June, it accounts to that year. And even though, so say, I think Arthur was sold for how much? 60?
Yeah, I want to say 70.
I want to say
70.
Yeah.
So they can put 70 mil towards their books. And then even though the money gets paid for the duration of the contract, they still can put 70 mil down. It's really, really sketchy, but it works. But essentially, you're swapping someone who's like mid-20s or early 20s for someone who's in their 30s. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I mean, I think Pjanic is very much a Barcelona player. I think he can fit into that team. But yeah, it's all a bit backhanded, I think. John, are you wearing a Slytherin shirt there? Is that what is the shirt that you're wearing? What's the logo?
What this? That's just the football club that I work for. So obviously back to football. It is literally back to football today. So I've got a training session about 1:00, and this is the club logo. And they've been back for a couple of weeks now, face-to-face training, but I haven't been attending due to obviously Corona and travel, and also I've been here on the pod. So I'll be heading over there after this to work with the future generation of footballers.
Are there any kind of new training techniques that you sort of you've been thinking about over lockdown? You probably had a lot of time to think about your whole setup there. Is there anything new you're going to be bringing to the table today, or is it a secret?
Probably. But yeah, it's a top secret. Nah, probably not. Obviously, it's the first time I'm going to go there, so I'm going to have to go there, take into consideration the whole setup of things, because you still have to observe social distancing. So yeah, I've got a few ideas in my head, obviously, to keep the distance. Obviously, you can't play any matches, no tackling, anything like that. So it's going to be a lot of sort of maybe dribbling around cones or some dynamic passing games that don't involve any opposition or any defenders to get in the way, sort of thing. So
Nice.
we'll see what happens in an hour. But,
and will they eventually be playing 11-a-side?
No, the team that I currently have, we've got one more season of 9-a-side, and then next season, 2021, we'll be going into 11-a-side. So yeah, it's obviously want them to start thinking about that from now, starting to get prepared for that throughout the whole, from now until the end of the season, so that we're ready for 11-a-side football. I think 9-a-side's only been around for about 5 or 6 years.
Right. Okay.
It used to be a jump from 7 straight to 11, but the FA changed the rules and added in 9-a-side, which makes it quite difficult because there's not a lot of 9-a-side pitches around.
I was going to say, what is that, like a 2/3 size, or what is it? How does it compare
pretty
to
much. Pretty much, it's about 10 to 12 yards shorter.
Okay, right.
And probably around about the same.
So like 90 by 40 or something like that. Yeah, 90 by 50.
Yes, yeah, something like that. I think,
yeah.
And that's a max. I think some pitches are like 80. So.
Okay. And last question on this then: where would prime John Aldinho fit in into your 9-a-side lineup? Where you playing him in that lineup?
Oh God, I've played a lot of football with John Aldinho. He's going to have to go in the midfield. I think he's going to have to go in the centre of midfield. I think a bit of creativity is always good. The best teams at this sort of youth level are players that are creative, or ones that are just haven't got no creativity, but they're all big and strong and fast. I'd need that creativity in midfield. So I'd slot him in there, sort of,
nice.
cam role, number 10, David
Nice.
Silva, like.
I like it. So
thank you.
Yeah. Any comments on that, John Aldinho?
No, I'll take it.
You take it. So yeah, we mentioned obviously football this week. Man United played again, looked pretty impressive again. I know they're not, Greg, you pointed out they're not playing maybe the top teams in the league. They're not playing any top 6 teams or anything like that. But still, they played Bournemouth, beat Bournemouth pretty impressively, and then Spurs come up against Bournemouth a couple of days later and failed to do anything.
Yeah, but that's not a reflection on United. That's a reflection on Spurs. Man United should be beating them. Spurs should be beating them, because Man United are bullying 6-year-olds and bullying the uncool kids at school. Doesn't mean they're not going to win the treble, are they? I think everyone needs to calm down a little bit. Got a 17-year-old or something leading their line, and yeah, he's doing well. But look who they're playing. It's not a reflection on United. It's Spurs. We should be doing a similar sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, arguably United's best win so far would be the 3-0 against Sheffield, with Sheffield being, a very decent team this year.
Defensively strong as well.
Yeah. But, yeah, it is a good argument. I mean, I'm really looking forward to this time next week. It'll be Chelsea United in the FA Cup semi-final. And obviously, both of those teams are going to be looking to all 4 teams left in the FA Cup are looking to kind of add a trophy this season. So I think, we'll maybe really see where this kind of Bruno, Pogba, Greenwood thing is going by that game. But I mean, I certainly think, something new is there at United. Yeah, I do, and I do wonder if Liverpool winning the league has been that extra little puzzle piece that they needed to just kind of click into gear and suddenly get back to what people expect Man United to be. But
I think they'll do well next season. I think it's helped them having that run because they've obviously be able to click into a gear under not that much pressure, and then going into the Chelsea game, like you said, Dan, you'll really be able to see how they can play against a good side. It's a mouth-watering game. But no, I would tip them definitely to be challenging next year after what I've seen, and if they can keep. I think Pogba's. I think he's found a new lease of life.
Yeah,
and he's playing so much better. And if I do agree with Greg, though, I think some of the pundits and some of the things I've heard about them maybe winning it next year. No, I don't think they're that far, but I think they'll definitely, if they keep playing the way they're playing, they'll definitely be cementing their places in the top four, I think, next season, rather than battling it out with Wolves and Leicester. Well, Leicester's up at the top four now, but with Arsenal and Sheffield and sort of thing, and Wolves. So I think that, that Bruno Fernandes and obviously the form of young Greenwood, I think if they can keep that going, I can see them definitely finishing third and maybe winning, challenging for one of the trophies, Carling Cup or whatever it's called nowadays.
I mean, is the Premier League? I guess the Premier League's not one, is it, on what your squad is like? It's your consistency wins the Premier League hands down, and especially now when teams are kind of pushing for 100 points a season. You look at La Liga and some of the other top leagues in Europe, and the top teams are losing like 6, 7, 8 games a season, and you can win the league with maybe 80, 82, 83 points. The Premier League now, with the standard that Liverpool and City have set in the last couple of years, you really you have to be almost perfect to win the Premier League, and I think that's where maybe this United team 5 years ago, 6 years ago would have been the favourites maybe for the title next year. But actually, you're right. Third place would be a huge achievement still, and they still might get that this year.
I do like. I'm sort of happy with how our league is. I mean, I know last week I was saying how shit our league's becoming, but
one for consistency.
Yeah. Flopper Greg.
But I'm a little bit. With what you're saying, I'm glad that it does require you to be perfect, because any team can be perfect. Any team can keep consistency, have that passion going. I mean, look at Leicester. That team was, fairly average, but they did a brilliant job because they were consistent and they played perfectly. Sort of similar to this Liverpool team, but it sort of shows that, where you've got the German league, you've got the best team winning it every year. I mean, I quite like that our league's slightly different in that you need something special to unlock that door to get into winning the Premier League.
Yeah. I mean, you've got Juventus running away with Serie A every season. You've got Munich.
Exactly.
PSG, all of these leagues pretty much have one top runner, and then obviously you got the two big boys in Spain. But I would, no league has that top 6, top 7, top 8, or whatever that we have, where you wouldn't really want to play any of them on a good day. But yeah, I guess some teams can drop out of the top 6, top 7. How was Arsenal's performances this week?
Well, not too bad. A few years ago, a point against Leicester, a bit longer than a few years ago, you'd be disappointed. But getting a point against Leicester, I mean, I know they're a fair few points ahead of Arsenal, but I think they're on par with Arsenal at the moment. I just think we just need a better defender, but I think they're quite evenly matched. If you look at the results between Leicester and Arsenal over a few years, they've all been draws, or Arsenal have won it. I think we won 2-1 when they won the league, home and away, and we're the only team to beat them home and away when they won the league. And then since then, it's just been draws or Arsenal win by a goal. So in terms of Leicester and Arsenal, I think they're quite level pegging. But I think it just goes back to that consistency where Arsenal just, they've been consistently poor defensively, which means that they're a few points behind, a fair few points behind Leicester. But I don't think that we're far away from being in that top 4 as well. But I just think there's a lot of traffic to get through. But I'm quite pleased with their form of late. But it's just good to not be losing. Not be losing embarrassingly and not be down to 10 men, although we did go down to 10 men, just not 10 men because David Luiz is half asleep, sort of thing. So you can the thing about it is you can see what Pep's trying to do. You can see we're trying to play a little bit higher up the pitch. Sorry, Arteta. Did I say Pep? Sorry. You can see what exactly in my dreams what Arteta's trying to do. I can see some elements of Liverpool in there with the high pressing, the amount of mistakes that Nketiah and Aubameyang and Lacazette are making the oppositions make, and then they're capitalising on that. I think overall we just don't have the squad. We don't have the keeper. We don't have the defence. We don't have the fullbacks. We don't have the midfield. But I think we'll get there.
Nice. Well, you mentioned defenders. That does bring us quite nicely onto a quick tier maker that we're going to do today. I'm going to share my screen now, and John, hopefully this will work on your device. Can everyone see this?
Yeah.
I can see it.
So we've got Premier League defenders, current Premier League defenders. The categories are the best, elite, good, decent, bad, and future prospect. I think we might have lost John again temporarily.
No, I'm still here. I'm just getting a charger because my device is
okay.
Device issues.
So, first up, we've got Steve Cook. Some of these, obviously, there's a couple here that we're going to have to guess who they are because whoever's put this together has cut the heads off of these players. So we'll have to do a bit of guesswork. Steve Cook at Bournemouth. First of all, we're trying and power through the ones that maybe we don't have as much to say about.
Okay.
Greg, anything to say about Steve Cook at Bournemouth?
I'd say bad for Bournemouth, really.
Okay. Do anyone else want to argue decent or higher? Jeez. John's had a fall. All good?
No, I'm all right, guys. I'm all right. I just dropped something. I'm all right.
All right.
I'll be back. I'm nearly there.
Okay. Right. Yeah. So we'll put him in. We'll put him in bad in the context of maybe the list of players here. Then that's probably not too bad. Nathan Aki. Obviously, there was
potential. How old is he now, though? I feel like he's had potential for the last 4 or 5 years.
I want to say he's like 25. Yeah, around that.
He is 25 years old. Yeah. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said to him this week after the game that United are looking for a left-footed centre-back. That was picked up on the Sky microphones or BT, whoever was filming that game. Sort of said it as a bit of a tongue-in-cheek comment, but that's the sort of thing that the tabloid press have gotten to absolute town on. I think he's in this category, probably one of these two, probably decent. I don't think we can say future prospect at 25 years old. I think decent for now. John, anything against Nathan Aki being indecent?
No, I think decent's good. I mean, I'd take him at Arsenal. He's definitely got potential. Yeah. I think he's not really doing enough to help Bournemouth, to stop the leakage at Bournemouth. So he's got to go there, really.
Yeah. Papastopoulos at Arsenal.
Was it Socrates?
Oh, Socrates. Sorry. Yeah, Socrates.
I'm going to plead the fifth on this one. I'll let someone before I start getting angry.
Yeah, Socrates. So are we going? Are you saying he's bad, Greg?
Yeah, I'd say bad probably. I think I don't really know enough about him, but I imagine that does he play a lot for Arsenal? Is he responsible for a lot of the stuff going on?
Yeah, I mean he's one of the culprits there.
Yeah.
He's part of the merry-go-round of
Yeah.
defensive woes, I think, at Arsenal. I mean, he was a very solid player for Dortmund. You know, I don't think he's necessarily a bad player. I just think he's a bit slow, maybe, for the Premier League. John Aldinho, any thoughts on Socrates?
Nah, I don't really watch Arsenal, to be honest.
All right, let's move on
Sorry.
to this next man then. David Luiz.
He's good, but it depends on what day you get him.
Maybe
we saw the best of him at Chelsea, but he really needs a good surrounding. Because if he's the main guy, he crumbles. I mean, we all saw what happened to him for Brazil when they got battered by Germany. So he's not your rock at the back, and at Arsenal you need someone like that. So I still think he's good though, but just depends on what day you get him.
Let's let the Arsenal fan in the room have the final say on where we put David Luiz. I mean, look, when David Luiz was at Benfica, he's here. When he came to Chelsea, he's sort of flirting with these two. Like you say, World Cup 2014 happens, and he's down here. The return from lockdown happens, and he's like over here. I think, all things considered, I would probably put him at the moment. He's top of the bad list. I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's better than Papadopoulos, Socrates.
Yeah. Okay. Mustafi, the man that man, the myth, the legend.
Is he better? Just join them straight in there.
Are we just putting all of Arsenal defence in this?
Yeah, I think so.
Is this Rob
I don't think
Holding?
there's too much debate.
Is that Rob Holding? Anyone correct me on that?
Looks like him.
I mean, are we? Let me just. We might have to put him in. Yeah, it is. So 24-year-old Rob Holding. He's got 36 appearances for Arsenal. Is he a future prospect at 24 years old?
No.
I think Rob Holding's actually quite decent. I think when he was in the side regularly, I think Arsenal definitely looked better. I think he's actually better than the other three. That's just my opinion from what I've seen watching Arsenal. I think he's better than the other three Arsenal defenders you've got in there, for sure. I think he's decent, but I don't know. And it's hard to judge because obviously Arsenal have been so bad, but he hasn't been there. He's been injured.
Okay.
So when he was playing before his injury, Arsenal looked really good.
Nice. All right, I'm happy to put him in decent. Next up, we got Aston Villa defenders. This is Ezri Konsa. I must admit I don't know too much about him. I know a little bit more about this next man, but Konsa is 21 years old. 22 years old. Playing centre back in the Premier League, not too bad. I'm leaning probably future prospect. Based on that, I don't know too much more. Tyrone Mings, pretty good leader, I think, of a team. Got a bit of a history of stamping on people's heads and stuff. Zlatan Ibrahimovic and the guy at Reading last season. But I do think he's good. I rate Tyrone Mings.
Yeah, I do as well.
Greg?
Yeah, from the little that I know about him, I know that he is a solid little player. So.
Would you sign him on career mode on FIFA?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah. Okay. Is he better than Mustafi?
100%.
Yeah. I would rank him at least here. I think he's proven that he's better than Aki and Holding. So is this Lewis Dunk?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. England capped Lewis Dunk, I think, these days. Consistent for Brighton. for a long time. But it's Brighton, so
Yeah, he's linked to everybody as well. It's a weird one. Just like Ake's linked to everyone too. I mean, he's okay.
yeah.
I think the English media just hype him up a little bit more because he is English, but he's okay.
28 years old. I mean, he's certainly better than he's done more than Holding at this point in his career, so he's definitely deserving of there, potentially up into the good category. I am not 100% sure on the centre back pairing here. I'm just going to double check that is it Shane Duffy?
Yeah,
I think that's right. Yeah.
Shane Duffy, Republic of Ireland international, 121 caps 121 appearances for Brighton, 32 caps at international level. Another, solid centre back in the Premier League. I wouldn't necessarily say bad. I think another one on the decent level. I mean, I think if you're consistently starting in the Premier League, you're pretty decent anyway.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go out of my way to sign him on FIFA career mode. Perhaps, Greg, would you?
Nah.
No. All right. This guy doesn't have a head, so we'll leave him for now. James Tarkowski for Burnley, formerly of Brentford. Very good player in the Championship when he was at Brentford. Consistently, again, a really good part of Sean Dyche's kind of vision there at Burnley. Consistent.
Yeah, it's quality. I think he's really good.
I'd argue for the first guy in our good category. Yeah. Okay. Then next we've got Rudiger at Chelsea.
I think the other Burnley player is Ben Mee, maybe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Ben Mee. Yeah. And where would you think of ranking Ben Mee?
He's decent.
Decent. Okay.
Yeah, but I think Tarkowski carries the defense.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to put him there above Rob Holding. So yeah, Antonio Rudiger. Greg.
He can be on and off, can't he? From what I know about him, I think that he can be all right, but I think that Chelsea, a lot of their problems are within the defence, and he's a key part of that. So I think that plays into it.
Yeah, another former Dortmund academy player. They got him in from Roma, I think. Chelsea.
Roma, yeah. It's a tough one. I mean, I like him, but I don't know if he's ready to like lead our defense. But I still think he's good. I'd put him in good.
Okay. Fiacco, is this Tomori?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
future prospect.
He's definitely that, isn't he? And yeah, he's got future potential to be in one of these categories. But yeah, we'll put him in future prospect for now. The man, the myth, the legend, Mo Sacco. One of the early kind of players shipped out by Jurgen Klopp when he arrived at Liverpool, but he's been pretty consistent for Crystal Palace. I've been to quite a few Palace games, and he's a fan favorite, but he's also just a bit of he's got that David Luiz quality about him where you don't quite trust when he's on the ball. He can do something stupid, but at the end of the day, he's in the later stages of his career. John Miller, thoughts on Mo Sacco?
Yeah, no, I agree with everything you just said. He's cut from the same cloth as David Luiz, and he just makes too many errors to be a top centre back. So yeah, down there with Rob Holding and Mustafi, and down there with Mustafi and David Luiz for me.
Top of bad, or probably next to Luiz, I think. Most people would probably rather have David Luiz just based on his career than Sacco, I think. We'll put him in there for now. Keane, is it Michael Keane here?
Yeah, Michael
Yeah,
Keane.
Michael Keane at Everton.
I think out of respect for Levi, we need to put him in bad.
Oh yeah, he hates him, doesn't he? Yeah, yeah. All right, we'll. I forgot about that. I mean, yeah. Let's do that out of respect for Levi. Yeah, here we go. Top of bad. Soyuncu.
Solid, isn't he? Solid.
He's quality. Yeah, he's quality.
He's definitely here. I'd rather have him over Tarkowski.
Yeah,
Is he elite?
We need more time, I think.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's put him top of good then. Johnny Evans.
Same. It's difficult because I think he's still good.
Or is he top? I think he's top of decent.
Yeah.
I don't know. John, I mean, Premier League winner, multiple Premier League winner, I would expect with Man United. And he's kind of reinvented his career as well. With Leicester.
I think he's more consistent than Rudiger, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
So I'd put him around there.
Here?
Yeah.
Above or below Tarkowski?
I would put him below only because he's got Soyuncu next to him.
Okay. All right. I like that. Right. Any arguments against this gentleman?
No.
Being up there for now? Okay. Joel Matip? Good?
Anyone next to Van Dijk, playing next to Van Dijk, is going to look good, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yep. Agree.
Yeah. So let's say, well, evidence just based on results, clean sheets, everything.
Yeah.
You know, he's got to be at least there. Could go higher, could potentially. Joe Gomez, enemy of Raheem Sterling. By the way, have we still got a John Miller in the house?
I don't know. I'll message him.
Yeah, I think we have. He's just come off mute.
I'm in the house, guys. I'm just, as I mentioned before, just got on my way to football, on my way to coaching.
Okay.
So, I'll come back on once I'm in the car. So I'll pipe up if I hear anything I really disagree with.
Okay, lovely stuff. Yeah, Joe Gomez.
I still think he's a future prospect. I don't know about you guys.
I'm happy with that. He's just check age on this one. He's born in 97, which makes him 23 years old. Yeah, future prospect, for sure. Let's put him down there. This man, Dejan Lovren. I would lean towards the bad category. I think that is a great example of, you know, you play alongside the best defender in the world and your game comes up about 10 points.
Yeah.
You know, I watched him back when he was at Lyon, and he was good then, but he was probably 25. Let me just check his age. But he's always had a red card in his game. So he's 31 years old. He was at Lyon 7 years ago. So yeah, he would have been 24 years old. Obviously went to Southampton, as did Virgil van Dijk, and then on to Liverpool. Look,
He's a weird one.
We might have to move him up here because I can see people saying what Lovren's worse than Rob Holding and Duffy.
I think he's the worst of the decent. But personally, I would put him bad.
The worst of the decent. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. There we go. Then I'm happy with that. Aymeric Laporte.
Elite.
Yeah. Can we argue against that? Yeah.
He's a great player. The injuries are the only thing with him, but
John Stones.
I think within any other system, any other team, he'd be brilliant. He'd be up there with Laporte, but I don't know, until he moves off. How old is he? Is he still young? Is he
Probably about 25, I would think now.
okay?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that
26.
within another team, he'd be up in that elite. But at the moment,
I think he's in the good. He's
Yeah.
here, I think. And Otamendi, crazy man Otamendi.
He has his moments, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he's certainly good.
Yeah.
He's the Aguero of centre backs in
Right.
terms of he's got that Argentine flair. He's probably getting into the twilight years of his time in the Premier League. He's 32 years old now. A career that went from Vélez Sarsfield to Porto, then Valencia, and then he's had 5 years with City, 135 games, 8 goals, 70 caps for the national team. Not a bad career there. He gives away the odd penalty these days. But yeah, I think he certainly warrants being in that good category. Controversial one here, Harry Maguire. Someone had a pop at him this week. I think it was Van der Vaart said that he reckons Harry Maguire goes home and says to his wife, I'm so shit at football, but because they're paying me so much, they think I'm great. Which is, Van der Vaart's never been one to kind of hold back on comment. I think Maguire's a good leader. He was a brilliant player for Leicester, probably overpriced.
I think he's overrated, to be honest.
I agree. United. I think he's a little bit overrated.
So would you have him? Would you have him above Johnny Evans?
I would. I think he's probably a little bit better than Johnny Evans.
And would you rather have James Tarkowski or look at John in his car? All right. So are we going to drop him in then? Is he going to go in the good category or is he going to go in decent?
Good. You put him in good, I suppose.
Yeah.
I put him over Otamendi.
Okay. Here.
Yeah.
Middle of good, but obviously one of the more expensive, same price as this man pretty much.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay, so next up we've got the
Lindelof?
Swedish superstar, Oscar Lindelof. Was it Victor Lindelof?
Victor, yeah.
Hasn't really proved, one way or another whether he's an outstanding defender. I think for United, he's certainly been there through some quite bad times. I think he's probably got to go in the decent category.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say he's outstanding. I'm happy to have my mind changed on that, but
what is he, mid-20s?
He's got to be late 20s, I think.
Oh, really?
26, 27, I want to say.
Lindelof is Victor Lindelof. He's 25 years old. 33 caps for Sweden, 78 caps or 78 games for United. He was with Benfica before that.
Probably behind Ake.
Okay. Yep. Is that Eric Bailey?
Yeah.
Is Eric Bailey good or bad? I think he's not indecent. I think he's good or bad.
Yeah, it's a weird one. He's a weird one because he's had some amazing games for United, but he's also had some shocking games. He's quite inconsistent.
Scored some howler own goals as well. Greg, where would you rank Eric Bailey?
I mean, I think he can be good, but I don't know if he actually is that good. I mean, I don't know. How old's Bailey?
Again, probably about 26. There's a lot of
in range.
Eric Bailey is not coming
26.
up on 26.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's Wanzabi, actually.
Is it? Yeah, I did think it doesn't look like. Okay. All
That's
right.
Wanzabi. Oh, he's a future prospect. He's going to be great.
Okay. Well, that's easy then. There we go. Right.
Baye's next to Jones.
Yeah. Good spot. These tiny pictures.
Yeah, it's hard.
All right. Here we go then. Phil Jones,
Man,
future prospect. Bad. Is he
Sorry.
going in the
bad. Yeah.
bad category? Okay. And then Bally. We'll put Bally, I think, at the higher end of bad. I think that's where he belongs. I'd rather have him over like any Arsenal defender, basically, apart from Rob Holding. I feel like Rob Holding might eventually move down in this list. Right, is this Fernandez? Oh, Stin Shah or Fernandez?
I think it looks like Fabian Shah.
I mean, to me, it looks like Mitrovic, but yeah. Let's do Laxell's first.
The Cells could be. I reckon he's a good player. He's a solid player. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd think he'd do well at Arsenal.
He would. Yeah, he would.
Yeah, I think above or below Johnny Evans.
I'd say above because he's got that little bit of potential as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Cool. I like that. So we're gonna say that's Shah.
I think so.
Okay. And therefore, would you rank him anywhere other than decent? Is he bad?
No, I'd say decent. I think he's, he's decent.
John
Yeah, I'd have him above Lovren and Duffy. He's one of my. I use him on FIFA because he had a really good card. I can't remember what it was. It was like a moments card, and yeah, he's pretty good.
Nice. Love that. Right, so let's work out who the headless Norwich defender is here.
I'm trying to do it's not Byram, is it?
It probably is Sam Byram, yeah. Because the other guy here that we've got is Grant Hanley. So if it's Sam Byram, 26 years old, too old to be a prospect. Not one that particularly stands out for me. He's in the is he in the starting lineup they're playing at the moment?
Let's check.
Or it could be Closer, actually.
Oh, Tim Closer, is that right?
Yeah, it probably is Tim Closer, I think. In which case, again, probably in the decent category, somewhere down near Duffy, Lovren, Shah.
Yeah.
Maybe lower. I mean, Norwich have got pretty much spanked this season, most games. I think maybe we put him in. I think we go with bad.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
But then, do we put both Norwich centre backs in there, or would you have Closer higher than Hanley, John Aldinho?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
It's really tough.
If you're ranking that on how this season has gone, you've got a Norwich team that has conceded 63 goals, which is the second worst in the Premier League, next to Aston Villa. So we may have to reconsider Tyrone Mings' placement in there as well. I think we go with bad for both of these.
Both of them, yeah.
Norwich centre backs, and then I think Mings might have to start sliding down the decent scale. But we'll get to that soon. This is Sheffield United's back line here. I'm thinking one of them must be Lundstrom. But I'm just gonna double check.
Is that Basham?
So we've got.
No, wait, no, it's not Basham. I can't even see.
So one of them's Egan, who's obviously scored a couple of goals recently. Got the winner against Wolves midweek. I mean, I think Sheffield have been so consistently good that I think we could put all three of them in the good category, because they've been playing that system, that three at the back system that's worked so well this year. I think that might solve a lot of our problems.
Yeah, I love that. I just put them under Rudiger.
Yeah, just under Rudiger.
Yeah.
As a three.
Yeah, as an ensemble.
Right, the big man at Southampton, Vestergaard, I believe his name is. Been pretty, I think the Southampton season has been a whirlwind, obviously, with that
Topsy-turvy
smashing that they got earlier in the season, and then actually they're one of the on-form teams in the league now. Vestergaard is 27 years old, Danish international. Southampton signed him from Mönchengladbach. Obviously, Southampton have excellent scouts, pick out some very good centre backs. Always, I think he's certainly decent. I think there's nothing to say. If you concede 7 goals, you're probably not quite good or elite yet. But Greg, any thoughts on Vestergaard?
I don't really know enough about him,
Okay,
to be quite honest, to pass an opinion.
John in the car.
I mean, John in the car. Yeah, I mean, whenever I've seen him play, he's a solid player. But yeah, he's like you said. I don't think he's elite. He's good to decent. It's a good defender.
Okay, Jack Stevens.
Got potential, a young one, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he's 26 as well. There's a lot of most of these players are in their prime. It seems like if you're starting. I think he's decent. I would put him probably up there. Obviously, we'll revisit this. This decent one at the end. Let's talk then about Greg. Here's your moment in the spotlight. First up, we've got Sanchez.
Yeah, I have trouble with him. I'm just trying to find his age, but he's not even appearing on the Tottenham team list, which is a great sign. I think he's a potential prospect.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah, 23, 24, isn't he? I think I want to say
24. Yeah,
24. I don't know. I mean, he's been bad. He has been bad for us, but he's also been decent. So I don't know where. I don't know. Yeah, I'd go bad. Really, he needs to.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
He's a tough one. If
I think
it's
he's
a tough
decent.
decision, but if it's a tough decision for a defender, then they have to be bad.
Okay. All right. We'll go with that. Jan Vertonghen.
Yeah, he's been good. He's been consistently sort of solid for us.
Is he elite? I feel like we could probably get a few more players into the elite category by the end of this.
I think for Tottenham, he has been. He's had his moments and he's been consistent.
And then Toby Alderweireld.
He's good. He's good.
Is he elite as well?
He's good.
Oh, okay. If we're going there, sounds good.
Or is he top of good? I mean, I think if we can get a few more players into that elite category,
I put Soyuncu in elite then, for sure.
And John Stones bottom of elite, or keep him in good?
No, keep him there.
Okay. And
Boy.
is the young Argentine.
Yeah,
Young
future
boy.
prospect. He's going to be good.
Cool. All right, future prospect. Now again, I'm going to need some help on Watford's centre back here.
Let's have a look.
Kabasele.
Yeah. Or is it?
I think it's Kabasele.
Okay. All right, where are we ranking him?
He's got to be.
Decent.
Yeah, he's consistent, but in a bad team. I mean,
yeah.
Where are they? Where are they now? Are they still in?
Yeah. Let
five,
me.
4 or 5.
Watford.
And
So at the moment, Watford are 17th in the league. They picked up a win this week against relegation rivals. Norwich 2-1 win after an awful spell. Before that, Cavaselli playing alongside Decore.
you know what?
Craig Dawson, sorry.
Any player that's being Liverpool this season, put him in decent.
No. Okay. All right. There we go. He's gonna split the two Southampton defenders. Next up, we've got a headless West Ham centre back. We can assume that is
That Ogbonna or Diop?
Yeah, I was going to say it's most likely Ogbonna, I would think.
What number is he? 20 something.
It's Diop. I've just found that image.
Okay, Diop.
Nice.
29 games this season, 3 goals. Future prospect still. He's only 23 years old.
Yeah, throw him there.
And alongside him, we have... Is that Balbuena?
What's that, Balbuena?
Yeah, Balbuena. 28 years old. I want to say he's from Paraguay. Came to West Ham from Corinthians, which is quite impressive to move to the Premier League and drop in from the Brazilian league. I wouldn't put him any higher than somewhere in decent, maybe lower. I mean, I feel like most of the players we've got in bad are on there because they've done something or they've proven to be bad. John, where would you put Balbuena? John in the car.
Yeah, I agree with what you said. I mean, I can't think of any like glaring obvious errors. I just think he's not in a great squad.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's probably good. He's probably good. It's hard. It's unproven, I think. So in that respect, I just don't think that we could put him down with the people that are proven to be bad. So he's got to be above the likes of Mustafi, David Luiz, Sanchez, all those guys.
Okay. Connor Cody. I think this
quality.
I think this guy is bottom of elite. More of a sweeper than maybe a centre back or playing that sort of sweeper role for Wolves. But I like Connor Cody. I would love to see Connor Cody get into the England setup. Obviously, Southgate says that he will, playing the current England system, he will never pick Cody because Wolves play a completely different system at club level. But yeah, I do think he's elite. Greg, any arguments against elite for him?
No, I think he's a good player. I think Gareth Southgate needs to... No, that's a different combination. I'd say elite.
Cool. And then is that Willy Bolly?
Yep.
Yeah.
Again, another great player this season for Wolves. Certainly good. Probably somewhere maybe on the end of the good category.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
And the last defender here for is it Bruno? I'm not 100% sure. I'm just gonna look up the photos.
Yeah, I'm looking at the defenders and they all look pretty similar. It's weird. It could be
all right. Based on that image, I think we're looking at. It's not Johnny. Johnny's a left back, isn't he? Is that Doherty?
No,
I don't think
find him. I'm looking for.
He's a fullback.
Yeah. All right. I think it's then Ruben.
Vinaga.
Yeah. In which case, 13 games this season. Again, I don't know too much about him. I couldn't say he's bad. I think we have to put him on the end of decent.
Put him on the future. He's only 21, so
Okay.
Potential.
All right. Yeah, that's good. That saved Dejan Lovren there, who was about to drop down into bad if we didn't have space. Okay, right. Is anyone here that we want to move around? Like we say, Aston Villa have actually conceded the most goals in the Premier League this season. So
Mings is a weird one because he's like the best of a bad bunch.
yeah,
Just like Ake.
Yeah.
So look at this list.
I think, you know what? I think we lock it in as what it is, and we let our angry fans tell us what we did wrong next week.
Sounds good.
And we blame it on John.
Yeah, blame it on John in the car and falling up the stairs and everything else that went wrong today.
Right. So we'll save that. We'll put it on Twitter, and you can let us know where things are. I mean, I think that's undisputed best centre back in the league. I think some people will argue that Stones could go higher. Obviously, Maguire potentially could go higher or lower. But yeah, I like where that is. I'm not 100% sure about Rob Holding, but he might even, you know what, Holding could even still be a future prospect in that Arsenal. Just the fact that he's not yet had tons of game time.
I would have said that too, but I think John in the car said he was decent.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll leave him in there then. All right. So that is going to be on Twitter. Do let us know what we did wrong as always. Right. So back to the tail end of the show here. Let's do a few predictions for the games this weekend. West Ham actually have just gone 1-0 up Mikel Antonio against Norwich. Are Norwich officially relegated now? Or this will be official relegation today, I think. 10
I don't think they're done yet, but I think you're right. Today would be the day.
4 to go. Yeah, so they won't be mathematically relegated, would be their next game if they lost that. But yeah, so predictions maybe for the end of that game. Will Norwich mount any sort of comeback against West Ham? Greg?
I hope so. I quite want to see West Ham go down, if I'm honest. They need knocking off their perch a little bit, but that's another conversation for another day, I feel. I feel like Norwich, I don't think they'll be able to mount a comeback against West Ham, to be quite honest.
Cool. We've got... Oh, actually, John Aldinho, thoughts on that? Same?
Yeah, I agree. They just don't have anything in the tank, and they've been flagging for the past few months or whenever we were playing. So yeah, I think I agree.
Nice. And John out of the car?
John out of the car. Yeah, no, I agree with that.
I like this. It does, like, that microphone is good. It sounds good. Considering you're a roving reporter right now, like,
yeah, I am.
The sound quality is good. All right, we've also got Watford taking on Newcastle at the moment, 0-0 after 24 minutes. Pretty even game. Steve Bruce's Newcastle have been one of the sort of surprise packages this year. I think in the Premier League, a lot of people tipped them to be going down this year, and they've sort of held their own pretty well. I think they're mathematically safe now as well. Up there in 43 points in 13th place. Thoughts on that, John Aldinho? Quick score prediction.
Let's do 1-0 Watford.
1-0 Watford, Greg.
I like Watford. Let's keep them up.
I reckon 1-0.
1-0, and John out the car.
Yeah.
Newcastle just scored.
I was got to say, I think Newcastle will win that one.
Here we go. Yeah, Newcastle, Dwight Gale,
I think
23 minutes.
After the City, I mean, they've been quite good on their table. The table position doesn't show their consistency, but they've done quite well this season. And I think after the City City one. I think they knew what the result was going to be there. They knew they weren't going to win, so I think they'd be putting all their eggs into winning today.
Nice. Then we've got Liverpool taking on Burnley at 3:00 today. How many goals will Liverpool win by? John, out the car.
What was that one? Sorry.
What will the score be in Liverpool versus Burnley?
Oh, Burnley defend quite well. I'm going to go 2-1.
2-1.
A late Mane goal.
A late Mane goal. You heard it here first. John Aldinho.
I think it will be 2-0 to Liverpool.
You all right?
And Greg.
3-0 Liverpool.
3-0 Liverpool. And I'm gonna say they really turn it on and go for 5-0. Sheffield United taking on Chelsea at 5:30. This is in Sheffield. John Aldinho is a Chelsea fan. What are you thinking for that game? Chelsea are on a charge at the moment.
Yeah, I think we'll concede because we're so shaky, but 3-1.
3-1 to Chelsea. Okay, Greg.
Yeah, I'd match that 3-1.
And John.
Chelsea will win that one 3-1. I reckon.
3-1s all round. Love it. And the final prediction here, we've got Brighton at the Amex taking on.
On Zoom.
taking on Man City this evening. City obviously been pretty impressive in their last few games. Obviously, apart from the Southampton game, actually, that was on BBC, in which they had the bus officially parked on them. Lot of wind coming in there. Yeah, from John. He's muted now. Will City turn up there and put on a show tonight?
Yeah, I want to see a spanking like 4-0.
Yep. Greg?
Yeah, I reckon they'll hammer home that one 4-0.
I see a pattern developing here. Okay. And John, out of the car, have you got a prediction for City Brighton?
I'm going to go for 3-0.
3-0. Okay. I'm going to say that we get something similar to what happened in the Southampton game, and maybe an early scare for City, and then they eventually scrape a 2-1 win in that game later today. We'll leave it there for predictions. I won't go into it as it bores a lot of people, but Formula One is also on this weekend, and qualifying starts at 2 p.m. If it's anything like last weekend's race in Austria, it should be a great weekend there. John, we'll let you go. You've arrived with 2 minutes to spare.
I have, yeah. I've definitely arrived. I'll flip my camera around, as you can see, starting to pick up
Nice.
now. So I'll be finishing just on time.
I like this. I think maybe in future you could be just on the go for every podcast. Would be very, very interesting to see.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, could get used to this. The roving report.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
Greg, any big plans for the rest of the weekend?
I'm going out for a bike ride with my mate, a beer and bike ride.
Nice.
My weekly thing. Yeah, that'll be good.
Sweet.
Good stuff. What about you, Dan?
Not too many plans. Yeah, obviously watch some of the football. Fulham played last night, got a win, so no Fulham game this weekend as such. Probably watch some of the Formula One, and yeah, maybe also have a bike ride. Who knows? And John Aldinho, what time is it now for you out in South Carolina or North Carolina? South Carolina.
North. 8 a.m.
8 a.m. So you got a whole day ahead of you. Any big plans?
Nah, just go for a run with my dog.
Nice.
And spend some time with the missus.
Lovely stuff. Pretty standard. Okay, well, we will leave it here then. That was BTF episode 50, where we ranked Premier League centre-backs. And yeah, you can head over to our social media pages to have a look where we put those. The show will be taking a little bit of a break, and we'll be back soon for episode 51, which hopefully will look a little bit different, and will be sort of post-lockdown BTF. Fingers crossed for no significant second wave that might prevent anything like that. But guys, thank you for joining me today on the show. John, sticking you on mute for a second there. But yeah, thanks guys for taking the time to join on the show today. And obviously, hope you have a good weekend, and I hope to see you back here soon on the show. But yeah, John out the car. You good?
Yes, I'm good, guys. I will see you soon.
Yep. All right. Okay. So yeah. Bye guys at home. See you soon.